I really believe one of the reasons a bathtub feels so amazing is because the second you get in it, you pay attention to your body. You are forced to pay attention to your body because the sensation is different. You put your foot in, you put your legs in, doing the hokey pokey here, and you feel the entire bathtub around your body and you pay attention to it. And it's just that alone that's why a bath feels so good. Now, check this out. What would happen if you were born into a bathtub? You'd probably eventually start to forget about your body. You wouldn't remember you're in a bathtub. So if you're born into a bathtub, you just get used to that you're in a bathtub. And what if, in a different way, you're in a bathtub right now? In other words, around you in this moment, you're held. You are loved. And it doesn't have to be in a religious way. It can be whatever you want, but you are loved. And if you were in a bathtub right now and you thought to yourself, what does this air say about my problem or my story? What does this air around me say? What does this space around me say? I want to ask you, if you ask this space around you right now, what it says. What does it say? Because here we are with our problems. And if you ask this moment right here, it says, I'm enough. Ooh, held, and we don't even know it. You are infinite. I'm open. You are safe. There are no problems. You feel so good. I'm always held. I'm loved. You are here. You are adored. You are amazing. My choice is the right choice. Only love is real. I love you. Take that in. Quit farting in the tub. Beautiful. I am held. It says, love you, kid. I am. You are perfect. Make these not just little passing things to make your silly little circumstances feel better. Take that in. These things you just said are actually true, and your circumstances are actually the lie. Every story you think you have about dealing with someone talking crap about you, figuring out money, what to do about this thing, your issue with this thing, whatever it is, those are not real. They are the ego trying to stay alive. They are full on bullshit. And when you go, no, it's true, I have all this evidence. Yeah, but you weren't listening to what the bathtub said. The bathtub around you says, I love you, I got you. It says Salma Hayes. I hope I said your name right. It says, I got you, I love you. This is a fact. You just listened and it started saying that. This is true. Take that in. Find it in the silence. So it's not just me saying it and your mind hears it. I want your body to feel how loved you are right now until you feel it. In this moment, all the crap that you are certain is your problem, all the crap you think is for sure your problem, ask this moment about it. This moment, not like in the future about it. That's you're looking from the problem into the solution to itself. That's not possible. But in this moment, what does this moment say? Silence will heal your emotional issue. But you have to listen to it and not just to circumstances. You cannot heal circumstances with circumstances. You heal circumstances with a new level of consciousness in this moment right now. Are you hearing that? The bath has your back. The mind can't heal the mind exactly. And I'm feeling from a place. I'm experiencing I love you. And I've been experiencing it since about Saturday night. Just sitting in this thing. Now, some people think that their tub says things like, just allow, just listen. And guess what? That's not the tub. That's the ego looking like tub. Because any job for you, anything that says, just do this, and you could follow it with, how do I do that? That's not you. The tub never says, just get in and just stay there and you'll get warm and wet. physically because of the tub. The tub doesn't say that. The tub says, I love you. The tub says you're held. But if you think the tub says, just listen, just wait, just do, just let go, that's even ego, because you're always held. And the second you realize you're held and you receive the I love you of the tub, the second you receive the I love you of the tub, you will be forced into letting go. But the ego cannot let go of itself. Take this in. The ego can't let go of itself. So when you hear yourself go, I got to allow more, ego just said that. And the ego can't allow. The ego is the thing holding on. A higher level of consciousness says allow to the ego. And the ego will fall into the higher level of consciousness. But what you perceive yourself as has no job. You just need to hear what the tub says and listen to it. And the tub will hold you. The tub will say, I love you. The tub will say, I got you. And you will hear that over and over and over again until it's truth. And once it's truth, then eventually when you have moments of fear, you go, oh, I'm just out of truth. That's all that means. When you have moments of, what do I do about this thing? I'm just out of truth. Notice every time you worry, you can also say, and I didn't listen to the tub at all today. I didn't listen to the space at all today. You just got caught in a movie and you convinced yourself the movie's real. And I promised you, if you watched Netflix the entire day, every day for 40 years, and no part of you realized you were watching Netflix, eventually you would swear that the story you're watching is true. Now, instead of running to the screen and fixing the circumstance that you watched on a screen that isn't real, find what's real. Your job is not to fix the thing you're seeing on the screen. Your job is to leave the movie theater by paying attention. Paying attention to right here. So to answer two people's question, what's the tub again? Imagine if you're in a bathtub right now. I know it doesn't feel the same as literally getting into water. And the only reason that feels so obviously different is it's temporary. You get into it and then you get out of it even because you get tired of it and you forget about contrast. Well, you're in the tub all the time and the tub is holding you. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, listen to this moment. The longer you listen to this moment, just listen. Listen to hear. Listen with your body. Listen to the air that's like right here. If the silence has something to say, what is it? And what if I told you that the silence does have something to say? You're just not paying attention. I promise you, you'll find more information in there than you can find in here. This is trying to keep you from listening to this. This is horrified of this because this is the death of the old story. But it's not the death, it's the transcending, it's the love, it's the holding, it's the cuddling of the old story. And the old story can finally feel seen. And the second something feels seen, it dissolves. The only thing a problem needs to dissolve is to feel seen, to know that it's seen. And if you listen to silence long enough, every part of your old story will feel seen. Every part of your old story. Everything. Kyle, do you think that will always be the case? What if it can't happen for some people? Have you tried it for a long time? Have you tried telling the silence truly? The silence. Like, I'm offering the silence now. And we go, what if it doesn't work? Well, it's right here. Ask the silence that. Ask the silence that. But it feels like I can't. Tell the silence about that. And take a second. You've been on this call for 27 minutes. If you plant a seed into a garden, it's not going to be a flower in 27 minutes. Like, we need patience. Like, think about it. Kyle, it's not where I listened to silence for 10 minutes, nothing. Right. You got that? Like, Take that in. We got to move. Humans are a part of nature, but there's also a part of nature that exists in humans that we don't pay attention to. Nature in humans says, let's unfold. Let's create, stay in it, listen, meditate, listen. So it's totally awesome, Nicole, if that was what the name of, yeah, Nicole. So it's totally awesome if you have that, but I just want to dare you to listen to silence for a while. I notice massive change if I just listen to silence for 2 hours. And people go, I don't have time for 2 hours. Yeah, but then the rest of the day, you aren't in your problem anymore. And then you get to possibilities. Like once you finally have those problems held, possibility, possibility, possibility. New levels of possibility are always trying to come through, but you're so busy looking at the problem that isn't real, and you're not letting it be seen and held, that we can't go past it. So I'll give you an example of something I did that you guys are kind of involved with. I told you on the last call, I felt this calling on the call, and I realized I felt this calling so I could actually talk about this week. Last week, I felt the calling on the call to work with 50 people one more time. And it came up for me as true. And we said to you guys, if you want to work with us 6:30 in the morning in the future, we're going to do it. And I felt into it for a while, and I was so flattered because like 130 to 150 of you wrote that you want to do the calls. And I want you to know, first of all, I'm so honored that you were interested, and something cooler has unfolded since then. So I was going to do the calls. Uh-oh, Travis is getting nervous. I think you're going to like this. I was going to do the calls, and I was so excited about doing the calls with you guys, and it would be a big commitment in all ways for all of us to do. And the calls were originally discussed as being the beginning of January, and then I felt into it, and I thought if I do them at all, it actually can't start till like April, because we still have so many things we have to do. And I actually said it in the spur of the moment. And I'm really realizing that I said it so I could get to this lesson that I have right now that changed me. This is why my tone is different. This is why I'm more aware of this moment. All of that leads into this. So I was totally getting ready. We actually made a thing. We set the dates. We wrote an email even. And I did this call about the bathtub with the 6:30 and 7:30 people on Monday. And I got on a plane. And you know what happens when you get on a plane often? Now it's not always as common, but when you get on a plane, you don't always get on your phone. And same with when you're in a shower. And how many ideas do you get weirdly when you're in the shower? How much more creative are you when you're in the shower? How much more fun can you be when you're in the shower? How many more times do you get an idea? You're 10 minutes in and you have like, oh, I got what I'm going to do. Sometimes you'll even have like a calling, or you'll decide to leave the thing or move into the thing, always in the shower and often on a plane. You know why? Because you don't have your phone with you there. Because you're not grabbing onto what the world is doing. I really believe that's a huge reason why. You don't have your phone with you. We live with the world right here, just looking at circumstances. I'm checking it while I'm telling you about it. It's crazy. I got a bunch of things to do now, right? It's all the time. And when I do these calls, I flow with you more because I rarely look at the phone. Luckily, I just looked at it to make that point. But when you're on a plane, often, now I know they have Wi-Fi, so it's less, but you're often off the internet. And when you're in a bathtub or a shower, you're off the internet, right? So all these ideas show up. So I'm on the plane, and I had this moment where I'm like, I wonder if the team sent out the emails. And I had this moment where it's like, it'd be cool if they didn't yet, because I realized there was a moment in my body that said, I don't feel like I'm sure that I'm ready to do this, because I feel like something bigger might be trying to come through. So I had this moment where I noticed in my body, and this is exactly what I'm talking about following the highest excitement. And it would have been a huge deal. I mean, it would have been a ton of work. It would have taken care of a lot of stuff. Like it would have been a big thing. I have to be honest to offer it. It's a, it would have been a lot of our time. It would have been an expensive thing for me to work that long with you. It would have been crazy, right? And we were about to send the email, and I got Wi-Fi just so I could ask the team, hey, have you guys sent the email out yet? And they said no. And I said, hold it, don't send it. And I noticed right after I said, don't send it, they said, okay. And I felt so relieved. And I just let myself feel that relief. Now, it's not that I don't want to do the calls with you guys. I'd be honored, truly. But something in me said, that's a 9, not a 10. I don't know what the 10 is yet at that point, but I just said, that's a 9, not a 10. It's not something that expands me anymore. I've done 2 groups of the calls. And so I said, that's a 9, not a 10. So I said, don't do it. Don't send it. And now I'm telling you guys, for anyone that wrote, this is what happened. 8 minutes later, this thing came on and showed up in my body and said, what if for the people who are already on the Absolutely Everything Pass call, we just start doing, I don't quite know the specifics yet, but 1 or 2 days a week, a guided meditation in the morning. Not any more money. It would just come with Absolutely Everything Pass. So instead of me working 5 days a week for 6 months with 50 people, I could work 1 or 2 days a week with thousands of people. And it felt so freeing. And it felt like more what the universe wants. And it felt like I could take care of you guys and not have to charge you anymore. It felt like for the light thing that you guys are putting in, that I could be with you. And that just felt so freeing. Like I'd love to wake up and meditate. I'd love to wake up in here. And I was picturing like maybe 1 day a week, I'm still putting it together, but 1 day a week could be a meditation. And 1 day a week, like on a Monday is a meditation or something. We'll have all the specifics for sure. And on another day of the week is like I could answer your questions about meditation, then we do another meditation. So it's nothing but me wanting to offer you more. I know that it's not required, but it's me wanting you to know I'm thankful and I don't need to get more. I want to be with you and bring meditation, connection, this moment to way more people. And it feels easier. Isn't that weird? For it to affect way more people, it's going to be easier. I just can't get over that. In other words, for it to affect 50 people, I got to work way more. And I felt the change, and I felt the change being the response to me feeling around me that I'm loved. I felt I love you coming from the universe versus just allow, which is a verb, which means it's my ego talking. And when I realized I love you, everything's fine, I realized I could take a break. And one thing that I've done a lot is worked my ass off. I've worked my ass off. And there are so many people that when a little time opens up, that I get really excited to fill it with someone. And I have so many amazing people in my life. And I'm out here in LA right now, and I know like 100 people that I could be getting lunches with and dinner. And there's something in me that goes, and I need time off. So I'm editing with my team in a gorgeous studio in a place that we have in LA. And I'm going to go to bed early. And I'm not going to hang out with a lot of people. And I know that for you, you're like, yeah, of course. And some people might go, I'm an introvert. I totally don't hang out with people. But for me, like there's a new level of receiving. And I hope you can just feel with the energy, permission for yourself in that. I do work my ass off. And if you feel that, it's like we work our ass off, but the things we achieve, and sometimes what we're working our ass off is from a consciousness of fear, because we forget that we're invisible, then we're form and invisible again. Maybe if you just take in that you came out of the ethers, then you're in form, then you're suddenly turning into mist spray later, that you might want to take a day off. You might want to relax. You might want to chill. And I realized how much more I could receive, and weirdly, how much more I could give on this level of receiving. That thousands of people meditating on calls like this at like 6:30 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, something like that, whatever we decide, and probably sometime next year, for 1 or 2 times a week, I feel would be more effective The 50 people that I worked with at the 6:30 call, we're on like call number 91, and the 50 people that I'm working with on 7:30 call is so awesome. And it's serving its purpose, and I'm going to give it everything I have. But I can feel myself going. After that, I'm done with the one-on-ones because I have to do more work for the world. And the more you work for the world, the more effortless things get, the more you create from your heart, and the faster things move. Ego has a hard time because it's doing things that are smaller than the worldwide world changer that you are. Your pain is nothing other than you're thinking too small. The heart wants to change the world. It wants to change you fully and wants to bring your gift to the world. And I can't tell you how much more I got excited about. Instead of writing 130 of you, come join us on the calls, just saying, how about all of you, we just chill and do meditations and add meditations and make this the greatest like conscious membership site ever, because I'm going to be in it with you. I'm going to be in it with you. I want to make this the greatest thing so that people realize how powerful they are. I want you to get that you are the answer. The real star of the show is the silence around you. That silence around you is so much bigger than any celebrity or speaker or guru or author that you've ever looked up to. Any family member you've looked up to, it's awesome. But the silence around you is your power. I used to think that your problem was the answer, meaning like look into the problem, look into your darkness. Now I believe look into the silence that's holding that problem. And that's the shift I've had this week, because my teaching used to be when you feel pain, go right into it. I probably said that last week, and it was definitely a step up from where we used to be. But if you feel pain now, pay attention to the silence here, because it is the bed for your pain. Don't worry about the pain. Don't worry about running from it. Listen to the silence. It is a bed for everything. And the second you're flipping through the phone or doing all the stuff, you're forgetting about the silence. Flip through the silence. Flip through your heart. I dare you. I'm telling you, this is the world-changing place. Your body and nature is a self-healing mechanism. All we have to do is stop screwing with it.